on the morning of June 24th in this red barn behind the Sacred Acre.
Or County 911.
We had I think a shooting right now in the bus barn down at the high school.
Yeah, at the high school where?
In the bus barn.
In the bus barn?
Yeah.
Do you know who it was?
No, I don't. Kids had come running out and said somebody shot Ed Thomas.
Okay.
Witnesses say 24-year-old Mark Becker walked into the school's makeshift weight room and shot Coach Thomas in the head at close range. Reportedly, the first volunteer paramedic on the scene was Ed's wife, Jan.
And my mom called me, and I remember 8:07 on my cell phone, and told me, she just said, "Aaron, your dad's been shot. Somebody came in the weight room and shot your dad." And instantly just, what?
Ed Thomas was pronounced dead. He was 58. Mark Becker was quickly arrested at his parents' house and charged with first-degree murder. Trial has been scheduled for September 15th, when he will claim insanity and/or diminished capacity. Becker had played for Thomas, as had his father Dave and his two brothers, including Scott, who started as a junior for the Falcons last season. Attending the same church, the Thomases and Beckers had been family friends for more than 30 years.
What difficulty is there in accepting the way it happened?
That's very hard. You know, and again, I think if I did not have faith, I have no idea how a person would accept this or get through this. It's not for me to know God's plan. I just have to trust and believe that a lot of good's going to come out of this terrible situation.
Five days after the shooting, the four NFL players returned home once again, this time to help carry their coach into the church. The service was close to cameras that Monday morning, but Pastor Brad Zinneker still remembers the words spoken by Thomas's oldest son, Aaron.
He gets up and just gives this passionate charge. You can mourn today, but tomorrow you get to it. You get to work, you get there early, you stay late, and you live your life with a passion, and that's how you honor my dad.
It was a message I felt that only somebody from our family could deliver. I think it's hard for people to argue with me being his own son. If I'm willing to do that, how can they stay home the next day?
Outside the church, hundreds lined the street to the cemetery to say their final goodbyes.
A bunch of the local football teams had shown up in their own jerseys and lined the street and lined the beginning of the road into the graveyard and gave the symbol of the fourth quarter. It was just so powerful driving through that.
5 weeks after the funeral, the Falcons were back on the field in preseason camp without a head coach. Two longtime assistants to Ed Thomas will serve as co-coaches.
Good.
His two sons are helping fill the void. Aaron Thomas spent some time with the quarterbacks, but his new position is athletic director. Todd Thomas returned to AP as an offensive line coach.
Good.
What do you now do as a football team to honor your dad in his memory?
If you want to really honor Dad, every day you'll come out to this practice field and you work as hard as you can. It's the same thing that Dad has been telling kids for 30-something years.
Number 52, Scott Becker.
Among those listening to the message was senior Scott Becker, the younger brother of the man accused of killing his coach.
What concern did you have as an athletic director or as a friend of the family or as your father's son, for Scott being welcomed back and embraced by this team and this community?
You know, to be honest, Scott's such a good kid, I didn't worry about it. I really didn't. He's just a great kid. I know we had a new student come in, and Dad had Scott show him around. And that just speaks to the kind of kid Scott is.
Good block, Becker!
E60 requested an interview with Mark Becker's father, Dave. The Beckers politely declined in an email. In part, it reads, "We do hope to share our story in the future about the mercy and grace the Thomas family, our church family, and our entire community has shown to our family."
Those players really have rallied around Scott. I think that's what Ed would have wanted him to do, to love him and to welcome him in and say, we're going to go through this with you, and we're going to stay a team, we're going to stay strong.
All right, Jimmy's ear hole is right on Scott's hip. All right, we want to squeeze that. All right.
It's just a football field in northeast Iowa. But to the man who now takes care of it, this is hallowed ground. His name is Bob Smines. Hours after Ed Thomas was killed, his son Aaron asked the 76-year-old Smines to tend the sacred acre. His 4 sons played for Thomas, and the Smines home overlooks the field where his friend shaped the lives of hundreds of young men.
He was a very fine example of a person. I never knew of the fella ever said anything bad about anybody, and if somebody was kind of down on that, he would help lift them up.
Every day. I look down there and he's not there.
On Friday nights, for 34 years, this had been his home. Even after the tornado, Ed Thomas inspired a community to mend and move forward in order to play the season as scheduled. On this August 28th, the Falcons will once again take to the sacred acre. But they'll do it without the coach. Still trying to mend their hearts. Still slowly moving forward.
It's going to be an emotional night for me, not seeing him run on the field. But, you know, again, it just goes back to what he'd want us to do. And you know, he would want us to play the game, and he wants us to play it with the best of our ability. And I guess that's how we're going to go into it.
Play with heart, play with great enthusiasm, play the kind of football that we play here at AP for 4 quarters.